Welcome back to English Boost Every Day, everyone. Today's episode is all about making your English sound natural and vibrant by mastering slang and idioms. And guess what? By the end of this session, you will learn 5 essential things you must do to unlock the fun of slang and idioms and speak like a native. I'm Michael, your host, and I'm thrilled to be here with our incredible guest, Sarah, our go-to expert on all things informal English. Let's jump right in.
Hi, everyone. I'm super excited to join you today. Slang and idioms can seem confusing at first, but they're what make English so colorful and expressive. Today, we're going to explore common expressions, their cultural origins, and how to use them naturally in everyday conversations. So get ready, because we're about to make learning slang both fun and memorable.
All right, let's get started with our first essential tip. Understand everyday expressions. The first thing you need to do is get familiar with the slang and idioms that native speakers use daily. Sarah, can you share why this is so important and give us some examples?
Of course, Michael. Everyday expressions like hang in there, spill the beans, or hit the sack are more than just fun phrases. They're keys to sounding natural. When you learn these expressions, you not only expand your vocabulary, but also gain insight into the culture behind the language. I always recommend that learners start by making a list of common idioms and slang words you hear in movies, TV shows, or podcasts. Write them down with their meanings and try to use them in sentences. This practice helps you remember them better and understand their usage in context.
That's a great tip, Sarah. Writing them down and using them in your daily conversations is the first step toward mastery. Now, moving on to our second essential tip. Explore the cultural origins. Understanding where these phrases come from makes them more memorable. Can you explain how cultural insights play a role in learning slang and idioms?
Absolutely. Many slang expressions and idioms have fascinating backstories that are rooted in history, pop culture, or even specific regional events. For example, the idiom break the ice originally comes from the practice of breaking the ice in harbors to allow ships to pass. When you learn the origin, it becomes easier to remember the phrase and use it appropriately. I suggest you research the history behind a few common idioms. Look for short articles or videos that explain the background. This not only enriches your knowledge, but also makes your learning process more engaging and fun.
I couldn't agree more. Knowing the story behind an expression definitely makes it stick in your memory. Now, let's talk about our third essential tip. Practice contextual usage. It's one thing to memorize a phrase, but using it correctly in conversation is where the real challenge lies. Sarah, what are some practical ways for our listeners to practice slang and idioms in context?
Great question, Michael. Context is crucial. I recommend that you try to incorporate new idioms and slang into your daily conversations as soon as possible. One effective method is role-playing. For instance, imagine you're in a casual setting, maybe chatting with a friend at a cafe, and practice using expressions like cut to the chase or in a nutshell to summarize your thoughts. You can also use language learning apps that offer interactive scenarios where you choose the right idiom for the situation. Additionally, watching sitcoms or YouTube vlogs that use a lot of informal language can help you see how native speakers naturally integrate these expressions into their dialogue.
That's excellent advice. Engaging with content that features authentic usage really boosts your ability to apply these expressions naturally. Moving on to our fourth essential tip. Engage in interactive activities. Learning shouldn't be boring. It should be fun and dynamic. Sarah, tell us about some interactive activities that can help with mastering slang and idioms.
Interactive activities are a fantastic way to solidify your learning. One fun activity is creating your own idiom challenge, where you try to use a new slang phrase or idiom in a sentence every day. You can even turn it into a game with friends or fellow learners. Another effective exercise is to watch a short video clip and pause it to write down any slang or idioms you hear, then discuss their meanings and how they were used. I also recommend participating in online forums or social media groups dedicated to English learning. There, you can ask questions, Share your own examples and get instant feedback from native speakers and experienced learners. This not only makes the process interactive, but also builds your confidence.
Interactive learning is definitely the key to making language fun. And that brings us to our fifth and final essential tip: learn expert tips and real life examples. Having guidance from experts and hearing real life stories can inspire you to keep practicing. Sarah, what expert insights can you share to help our listeners sound more like a native?
Expert advice is invaluable when it comes to mastering informal language. One tip is to pay close attention to intonation and rhythm when native speakers use idioms and slang. Sometimes it's not just the words, but how they're said that makes all the difference. I also suggest that you mimic native speakers by shadowing. Listen to a conversation or a short clip, and then try to imitate the speaker's tone, speed, and emotion. Additionally, consider working with a tutor who specializes in conversational English. They can provide personalized feedback and help you fine-tune your usage. Remember, the goal is to sound natural and confident, and these expert strategies will put you well on your way.
Let's do a quick recap of the 5 essential things you must do to decode everyday slang and idioms. 1. Understand everyday expressions. Make a list of common slang words and idioms. Write them down and use them in sentences. 2. Explore cultural origins. Research the history behind these phrases to make them more memorable and meaningful. 3. Practice contextual usage. Engage in role-playing and real-life scenarios to learn how to use these expressions naturally. 4. Engage in interactive activities. Turn your learning into a game. Challenge yourself daily and interact with others for feedback. 5. Learn expert tips and real-life examples. Pay attention to how native speakers use these expressions. Mimic their intonation and seek expert guidance.
Exactly, Michael. When you combine these strategies, you'll start to feel more comfortable using slang and idioms, and soon enough, they'll become a natural part of your conversational English. It's all about practice, exposure, and a little bit of fun.
Before we wrap up today's episode, I want to remind you that learning slang and idioms is a journey. Don't worry if you don't get it right away. Consistency is key, and every bit of practice brings you closer to fluency. Embrace the quirks of the language and enjoy the vibrant cultural richness that these expressions add to your speech.
Absolutely. And remember, it's okay to laugh at yourself along the way. Language learning is as much about having fun as it is about acquiring skills. Share your funniest mistakes with friends and celebrate your progress. Every new expression you learn is a victory.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Sarah, and thank you to all our listeners for tuning in. If you found today's episode helpful, please check out our previous videos where we explore other aspects of English learning, like pronunciation, vocabulary, and listening comprehension. We update our channel every day with fresh, engaging content, so be sure to visit daily.
Yes, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode, like this video if you enjoyed it, and share it with your friends. Your support is what keeps our community growing, and together we can make learning English fun and accessible for everyone.
That's right. So, as you leave today's session, remember these 5 essential tips for mastering slang and idioms. Embrace everyday expressions, dive into their cultural origins, practice them in context, make your learning interactive, and use expert tips to refine your usage.
Keep practicing, keep experimenting, and soon you'll find yourself speaking like a native, naturally and confidently.
Thank you again for joining us on this exciting journey into the world of slang and idioms. Don't forget to check out our previous videos, subscribe for daily updates, and share this podcast with your friends to help grow our language family. Until next time, this is Michael, and with Sarah by my side, signing off. Have an amazing day and keep speaking with flair.
Goodbye, everyone. Stay curious, have fun with your language learning, and we'll see you in the next episode.